Now, breathing is a word that we use to describe an ongoing process. And if you go to any physiology textbook, they'll tell you what that process is. They'll give a wonderful description of it, but in that description, you will not find any description of your experience of breathing. They're two different things. So as you're lying there, if you begin to consciously pay attention to your breathing, the process of breathing, what is it that you start to notice? So one general category is you could start to notice the movements of your body associated with the act, the process of breathing. And if you spend some time, you'll start to sense that on the in-breath, certain parts of you move, and then on the out-breath, maybe the same parts or other parts of you move. And you know that from direct experience. It's absolutely immediate. It's first-hand. You don't even have to name the parts that you sense. You can just simply sense motion. Motion there, motion there, motion here, motion there. You don't have to say rib, you don't have to say chest, you don't have to say belly, you don't have to say back, you don't have to say any of those words. You just simply notice where those sensations arise as you breathe in and where those sensations arise as you breathe out. And the other general category is the touch of the air as it kind of moves into your nostrils or through your mouth and then through yourself. So there's the category of motion of your body as you breathe in and out, and then there's the category of the tactile sensations of the air as you breathe in and out. Now, here's the first question. If you're paying attention to the movement, the sensations of moving associated with breathing in, where is the sensation the most vivid in your body? Where's it located? Is it in the front of you? Is it in the back of you? Is it at the sides? And depending on the position you're lying in, it might change. It might be different. So where is it that you sense the greatest amount of motion? And here's the second question. Where is it that the sensations of the movement of air across your skin or inside you are the most vivid? Is it at the nostrils? Is it at the lips if you're breathing through your mouth? Is it at the back of the throat? Where is it? On the in-breath. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. And now please apply those same two questions, but to the out-breath. As you know that you're beginning to breathe out, what parts of you, where is it that you sense the most amount of movement? And where is it that the tactile sensations are the most vivid? Now, what is absolutely fascinating is you are the only one in this whole room that can answer those questions. Because you're the only one who has direct experience that form the basis of the answers. As I'm walking around the room, I would have no idea from an external perspective what your experience is. And that's the case in every awareness through movement lesson. No one can have direct experience to your experience. And it might sound obvious, but it's true. Now, that part of yourself, or that area of yourself, where you're most aware of movement as you breathe in, could you keep your attention there? Keep attending to the sensations that are happening there as you breathe out. And I'm going to intentionally try to distract you. Yeah, that's my goal right now. Can I distract you? Can I distract you away from that experience? Please roll your head left and right. Don't be distracted. Yes, you can roll your head left and right, but your attention can still be primarily on the sensations of that part of your body where you sense the breathing in most vividly. And you can roll your head. So then what's primary in your attention? Well, attending to the breathing is primary, and the movement of your head is secondary. Stop rolling your head, roll your right leg in and out. Or if you have your legs bent, tilt your right leg outwards and inwards. And have I succeeded in distracting you from your breathing? Okay, now could you please change your attention from the movement of yourself to the sensation of movement of air across the skin or the nose or the back of the throat, wherever it is, as you breathe in. Stop rolling the leg or tilting the leg. And begin to raise your right arm towards the ceiling and put it back down again. Did I succeed in distracting you? And this is good practice because you'll succeed in distracting yourself when you're doing awareness through a movement lesson. You'll become so hooked on the movement that you'll forget your breathing completely. Expect it. But over time, you could become more and more skilled of keeping aware of your breathing and using your breathing as a compass to guide you into easier and easier and easier ways of enacting your intention. Let that be, and please lie quietly. And switch your attention to the out-breath. And notice those places that are most vivid in your experience as you're breathing out. Which places are moving that are most vivid? I'm going to try to intentionally distract you again. Interlace your fingers. Place your hands behind your head. Lift and lower your head many times with a little bit of a pause in between. And you know what? The only person who will know whether you've been distracted or not is you. You're the only one that can tell. Which means you have to catch yourself being distracted. And very often, we can be distracted for 15 minutes before we realize we've been distracted. Oops. Tricky business, this. Put your head down and interlace your fingers. Have your hands resting on your tummy. Lift the right elbow from the floor, put it down. Lift the left elbow from the floor, put it down. Can you do those movements and still be vividly attending to the sensations of the movement of breathing? Let your elbows rest on the floor. Switch your attention to the sensation of the air moving either against the skin of the nostrils, the back of the throat, the windpipe. Raise both arms towards the ceiling, put the hands together. Have the arms completely straight, like the shape of a triangle. And tilt your arms left and right. Can you still be attending to the breathing? And if you are attending to the breathing, maybe you start to notice that the sensations change in quality depending on how you're organizing yourself to move, how you're thinking about your movement, whether the movement feels easy or unpleasant. Lower your arms, rest. And you go ahead and pay attention to the sensations associated with your breathing on the whole cycle. The movements of breathing in, the movements of breathing out, the sensations of the air moving against skin, breathing in, breathing out. And track whatever is easy to track. You can get subtler and subtler as you go, but what is the most vivid experience that you can track? Slowly start to bend your right leg and bring your heel closer to your right buttock. And then do the exact return journey. Lengthen the right leg and take the heel away from the buttock. Do that several times. And as you do that, if you're attending to the experience of your breathing, notice, how does the movement affect your breathing? Does it? Does somehow the experience of breathing change as a consequence of your movement? And your job is not to try to compensate, not to intentionally try to breathe differently to match the movement, but just to observe, notice what's changing, and register it. Stop moving the right leg, move the left leg. And it could be when you start to move the left leg, moving the left leg affects the breathing in a slightly different way. Maybe your breathing becomes even quieter when you do this leg. Maybe it becomes more ruffled. And if you were to change how you're moving your leg in order for the breathing to be less disturbed, what would you do? How would you begin to change the way you're moving your leg so that your breathing remains unaffected? And the more intimately you are aware of the sensations of the breath, in other words, the more deeply you are into the experience of breathing, the better you'll be able to discern whether the leg is interfering or not. And here you are in one of Moshe Feldenkrais's cornerstone discoveries. That well-organized movement leaves the breathing unaffected. Which means you're always able to get the air that you need. So that would be not a belief. That would be a tried and tested concept. Bend both legs, bring both heels towards the buttocks. And engage yourself in that same process. Is there a way of doing that movement that leaves the breathing unaffected, enabling you to get the air that you need every moment you need it? And then once you've found one way, you could find a second way. then a third way, and then a fourth way, and et cetera, all the while foregrounding breathing and using that foregrounding of breathing to guide you into a different way of moving your legs. Okay, let that be, please. Rest yourself. So this notion of every now and then foregrounding the breathing as a means of finding a better movement coordination is something that you can do almost with every lesson. It's always available to you. So before we finish, how do you experience your breathing now? The sensations of the in-breath, the sensations of the out-breath, both in movement and in contact, the flow of air against skin, against tissue. And please roll to one side, come up to sitting, if you're not sitting already. And please get together with maybe the people closest around you. And could you share a little bit of your experiences? Because thank goodness we have language through which we can try to articulate those experiences that we have inside us. So please do that.